Welcome to another unit in this VBA course. In this unit I'm going to talk about like the typical easy mathematical formulas implemented within VBA. So the typical way to start with all of this would be, if I have like an output, I assign this some inputs, so I have two variables here and I want to add both of them up. So I can use, for the basic mathematical calculations, this signs I might be familiar with. So I can use this for plus, can do the same thing for minus, and if I want to use multiplication or division, I'm going to use something which might be familiar to people a bit more familiar with programming in general. So I'm going to use the asterisk for multiplication and the slash for division. So if I, for example, start this here with values for this, so the first one is 3, the second one 4, I will get now the last output, which here would be 3 divided by 4, 0.75. It's a decimal number because I have doubles here. So that's only why this works without any rounding errors. Okay, so that's like the basic versions. The next part, this would be like exponents or roots. They can work in the same way, because what I can do is, for example, in this situation, can say I want to have variable 1 to the power of variable 2. So we'll just switch out the plus here with this sign, more or less the Exponential Function. This means variable 1 to the power of variable 2. That's my result here. That's 3 to the power of 4. And this already explains how I can use roots. Because if I want to here get the square root of variable 1, I can just go variable 1 to the power of, and then I go 1 divided by 2, or 1/2. This gives me the square root of 1. The square root of variable 1 of 3, so to speak. And I can use this in any combination, so I could also go with 4/7. That's like the 7th root of variable 1 to the power of 4. This looks like this. So with this I can use any type of exponents, any type of roots. And related to exponents, as the name already tells us, is the so-called exponential function. And I can use this one here as well. Again, I'm going to use this only for variable 1. So if I want to get exponential function of variable 1, I could either go the constant e to the power of variable 1, or to make this a bit more mathematically professional, I go with exp of. Get the exponential of 3, so e to the power of 3, giving me here roughly 20 something. And the opposite to the exponential function, that's the logarithm. And here I'm only using log. So I see log here automatically recognizes there's no ln or ld function. But if I'm using this here, I get 1.09 something. Okay, for those who don't know what this means, if I insert the exponential function here, run this again, I get to 3, because the log function actually is the ln function as we know this. So there is no log 10, log 2, something like this. Log directly means natural logarithm. Okay, so this is like the classical functions. Then I might add, just for completion's sake, my trigonometrical functions So I have the standard version of sinus, cosinus, tangents, and stuff like this. So tangents works as well. I might have a problem with some slightly more complex trigonometric functions. So if I want to use the arcus tangens, for example, I see he doesn't know an atan. No. He doesn't know an arctan. So there I might actually have a problem. I might have to look this up, how they are implemented into VBA. Or if I'm not sure how to use them, I can refer back to my worksheet functions, which I will talk about in a later session, because, well, we might already know that the arcus tangens is implemented in Excel with the artan or artan2. So I could use this Excel function here. But, well, this is not part of this unit. Instead, I want to give you one final comment. And for this, I'm going back up here. I introduced at this point how I can actually calculate roots. However, if you don't want to use this part up here, but are more familiar with the classical root functions, you could instead also use the so-called square root function, which here is SQR. That's just the square root of this variable. This is way less flexible than this version, but well, for those a bit more familiar with those functions, you can use this one here instead of the normal square root. Okay, and well, that's all I wanted to talk about in this session. So if you want to see more on VBA, feel free to visit the rest of the course or have a look at the corresponding playlist. I say goodbye and see you next time.